Hello everyone, it's me again, Kiana, and welcome back to my channel. As you guys can see from the title of this video, we are going to be doing my December book haul. In the month of December, I bought 14 books. A lot of these I got as either a Christmas present or a Christmas present to myself. There's no particular order, so let's just go ahead and get started with this video. The first book I have is Chasing Lucky by Jen Bennett, and it follows a girl named Josie, and she returns to her hometown by the request of her mother to help run the family bookstore, you know, typical. And she ends up running into Lucky, who used to be her best friend. Lucky covers for her for something, and they start to rekindle their friendship and to try to figure out why they stopped and why their mom moved her away in the first place. This is on, as you probably saw from my January TBR, on my TBR for this month, so I'm looking forward to reading this. The next book I bought is The Princess Saves Herself in This One by Amanda Lovelace. This is a collection of poetry, and a goal of mine that you guys will see hopefully very soon in my Goals of 2020 video is to read more poetry. I am looking forward to reading this, and again on my January TBR. So where I live at, we have a lot of Dollar Trees, and surprisingly they sell books, and a couple books that I found there, the first one being Fireblood by Ellie Blake. This is actually book 2 in the Frostblood series. I don't know much about it. I know that it has to do with, like, it's almost like Red Queen, that you're divided by your blood. So I have book 2, which means I now have to order book 1 in order to read this. A lot of people on booktube love it. They say it's a very interesting series, so I'm looking forward to reading this. The next book I bought is These Witches Don't Burn by Isabella Sterling. And this is about a group of girls who are actually witches. Hannah's a witch, but not the kind you're thinking of. She's the real deal, an elemental with the powers to control fire, water, earth, and air. But even though she lives in Salem, her magic is a secret she has to keep to herself. If caught using it in front of a rag, which is a non-witch, she could lose it for good. So she spends most of her time avoiding her ex-girlfriend and hanging out with her best friend, working at the fly-by-night college row, selling candles, crystals. But dealing with her ex is the least of Hannah's concern when evidence of dark magic begins to appear all over Salem. I absolutely love witches books, and I cannot wait to read this. Maybe I'll read this next month. So as a Christmas present to myself, I have been wanting to pick this up for such a long time, and I finally picked up Eliza and Her Monsters by Francesca Sapia. And this is about a girl named Eliza who in real life she's extremely shy. She doesn't have that much friends, but she has an online personality named Lady Constellation, and she is the anonymous creator of a webcomic, Monstrous Sea. This was the biggest hype all over booktube when this book came out, and I think that was the reason I didn't pick it up right away. But now I have it and I'm looking forward to it, and it does have like some illustrations of the webcomic in it with some like scenes. So yeah, I'm looking forward to reading this as well. And with me getting Eliza and Her Monster and The Princess Saves Herself in this one, I also put myself The Witch Doesn't Burn in this one by Amanda Lovelace. This is another collection of poetry, and this one has The Trial, The Burning, The Firestorm, and The Ashes. Again, looking forward to reading this. In the beginning of the month, I bought myself You Say It First by Katie Cotugno. This will be my first Katie Cotugno book, and all I know is that this follows a girl named Meg, and she has her entire life set up perfectly. Her and her best friend Emily plan to head to Cornwall together in the fall. She has a sweet boyfriend, and she works at a voter registration call center in Philadelphia. But everything changes when one of those calls connects her to a stranger from a small town in Ohio. Colby is stuck in a rut, reeling from a family tragedy and working a dead-end job. The last thing he has time for is some privileged rich girl reaching the sanctity of the political process. So he says the worst thing he can think of and hangs up. But things don't end there. The night the phone ends, being the series of candid, sometimes heated, always surprising conversations that lead to a long-distance friendship, and then slowly more. I want to try to read more romances. I don't all the time, so I'm looking forward to reading this. A lot of people like it, so let's see if I do. Another book I bought at my local Dollar Tree is Winter Song by S.J. Jones. This is the second book to Winter Song, which I believe is a labyrinth retelling. From what I told, I wanted to buy Winter Song. I was looking at it on Amazon, something told me not to buy it. And then when I went to my local Dollar Tree, I saw this and bought it. So now I do need to get the first book. I then caved into the hype and I bought Crave by Tracy Wolff. I know that this is a vampire. People say it is better than Twilight, and it's almost time for me to relive my Twilight days. So this follows a girl, and she meets this vampire named Jackson Vega, who is a vampire with deadly secrets, who hasn't felt anything for over 100 years, but there's something about him that calls to me. Something broken in him that somehow fits what's broken in me. I know that there's a second book out, and a lot of people like this, so let's see if I do. Again, second book in a series because my Family Dollar is like horrible. So I bought the second book to The Bone Witch, which is The Heart Forager by Rin Capucho. Again, I wanted to buy the first book for such a long time. I didn't, and then I bought the second book, so now I have no choice but to buy the first book. Again, witches. I love witch stories. And of course, I bought my most anticipated release of the month, and that is A Sky Beyond the Storm by Sabatier. I already read this, and a review will be coming out hopefully shortly. This is the fourth and final book in the Ember and the Ashes quartet, following Elias, Laia, and Helene as they deal with the Nightbringer and finally end this war. Absolutely love this book. Again, 5 out of 5 stars. Be on the lookout for my review. Then the last book I bought from my local Dollar Tree is Escaping from Houdini by Carrie Maniscalco. I believe this is like the fourth companion novel in Stalking Jack the Ripper. I didn't really enjoy Stalking Jack the Ripper, but I think you don't need to read any of the books in order to read this one. And it is both glorious and terrifying, holding someone's life in my hand. Staring steady with my scalpel, I had the power to end it. With a swift flick of the blade, the power to end him. Yeah, they set sail on a boat that is en route for their investigation in America. On board, the voyage quickly descends into a horror show when a woman begins turning up dead. So yeah, looking forward to this. And then I bought a graphic novel. I ended up buying Godi Vance Volume 4. This isn't on like the online service I use to read my other graphic novels, so I bought a physical copy. And this is a little girl who is 16. Her name is Mary Godi Vance, and she wants to be a detective. She works in the hotel with her father, and they solve mysteries. She loves racing as well. Love the series. Can't wait to read this one. And then lastly, we have my owl crate, my December owl crate, which I will link somewhere on the eye, and that is These Violent Delights by Chloe Gong. All I know is that this is basically a Romeo and Juliet retelling, but in the 1920s in Shanghai. I'm looking forward to this. It is a beautiful cover, and all I had to know that it is a Romeo and Juliet retelling, and I was sold. So yes, those are the 14 books I bought in the month of December. It is a lot. Hopefully I don't buy that many in January, but I'll be leaving here on the side of me, so videos you guys should go check out. I try my hardest to post 2 to 3 times a week. I'll see you guys hopefully very soon with another video. Bye guys.